minutes. You guys are always more welcome to ask me questions. I'm just kind of wandering around cleaning up. It's kind of nice to finally clean up a little bit. You know what I mean? Be organized. I know it doesn't really look like it, but this is organized compared to organized chaos to me. That's how it always works in business. But if you guys have any questions, anything gets me fired up, you're more welcome to ask. I'm here for, well, as long as the battery lasts. That's the big thing. Power. We need power. What's Tony got? I see Tony's got number one. I see a text come through a few seconds ago. Tony, I was thinking about you. Man. I was like, should we do one tonight? Should we do one tomorrow? I'm just undecided. I'm debating if we should do one in the IPPT. Don't really even know how to, I guess we could just win, you know what I mean? Just go at it. I'm just kind of wandering. I got the lapel on. I see Rich B's in the house. What's up, Rich B? Hopefully, we're trying out the lapel. Hopefully, you guys can hear me when I was walking around. But it's good. You know, this is actually really good because I was thinking about this. And since I got my seasoned vets in the house, you know, I've been thinking about this. And I just keep, I really think about the younger generation. You know, I don't know, they get me fired up, right? You know, because we didn't have this. We didn't have this stuff when I was growing up. And the fact that now I'm in my 40s and I look at things so much different. I just keep thinking, is like, there anything we can apply or hope or comment to, you know, like hard work and stuff like that. But, you know, I don't know. I always feel like I'm a loner. You know, like I look at some things now as assets and liability, and then it's like, you know, it's like, do I really need that, or is that I want that? You know, I don't know. It's just crazy things I think about. I want to wander here for a second. Got a few things. Got the heater going, all that jazz. Got to eventually make probably won't do it tonight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to always push more time out there, a kerosene run. Problem is, one place that's got kerosene. Oh, what does it say? Move collar? Move it to your collar? Is it rubbing? What's moving? What's rubbing? Let me try this. Normally the hat works pretty good too. Let's see if I can get it out there. There, now I got a little, and it probably rubbing, so my guess. Is that better? Let me know if it's better. Say that better. It's just so much stuff to always deal with, you know, when it just adds up and adds up, and then you think you gotta have it, but then you gotta store it. Like, I mean, this goofy thing. Anybody ever have these three prongers, right? They work great. Normally, we normally have GFIs on them. A lot of commercial places want that. I don't know where to put this little booger. Works in handy, but I don't know. We'll find a spot for it. Anywho, you guys are more welcome. Let me know where you're at. Temperature, climate, except Tony. Don't like Tony no more. Go down where it's warm. What a booger. Nothing but love, brother. Nothing but love. Man. So, still up here in the frozen dungeon. You like that? That's good. That's good. I should find a spot for it, but that's just gonna work. It's all, man. It's all good. What's up, Mr. Evan? Did you work today? Work good? Work everything go good? You said you got some jobs. What kind of jobs? You got any jobs coming up? What's the next one? Broken spring. What was I thinking about that comment? Somebody, I think Evan was thinking about it. About how that's kind of a that's not a bad, you know, idea, having I think it was like measuring the overall of the color spring. It's a pretty good idea. All kinds of things. It's just a matter of slowing down and using your brain. That's how it all works. And it can backfire. It still backfires on me. Like I said, 18 plus years. You'd think I'd have it mastered, but I still get burned here and there. But not as much as I used to. Not as much as I used to. I got quite a bit things I've learned. Years. A lot of it is try not to lose money. Also, you know, just try not to lose money. Customers will waste your time, certain ones. You can start identifying them. That's always a good thing to help identify. See what the battery's at. We're still doing good. Oh, Jack's on here. Jack, boy, we need Jesus in our life, don't we? He loves you too. Amen. All these weird fittings, you know. I keep thinking, I've been thinking about it. Whoa, that's got some big old, love on there. Some YouTuber. I was thinking about it, you know, with the gate operators, gates or fencing. I don't know. I've been thinking about it, and it's definitely a specialty. And I was almost telling myself today that maybe buy some minor repairs or like switching, you know, reset button, or you know, whatever it takes. Do you save it, or do you throw it away? Save it, or throw it away? Is it worth your time? But anyways, I was thinking about being a specialty on it, and like basically, I'm probably going to be the only one, you know, that specializes in them. You know, I thought about that. What the heck's this doing in there? That's called a flat tire. That's on the floor. But I don't know. I keep thinking about doing the. I just think it's such a specialty. And I think what I'm trying to tell you is that you gotta, you know, you almost gotta. It's always that thing. Sometimes you can expand out too far, which is I get it when you're starting out. You're just trying to survive. But sometimes if you can just stay in your lane and hold that lane and be an expert in your lane, boy, that can be powerful. That can be very, very powerful. Hopefully the pedal's working good. Let's throw this little screw where it belongs in the case. Where are you? There you are. All kinds of little stuff. Let's go through the comments here for a second, huh? Thanks for being here. Hope you're having a great day. What's it got here? Hey, move your collar. That's good. What's up, boy? Even. Love it, love it. Ooh, is it Stitch? You might be able to. You got to be here a little bit more often. We got to. You kind of build up to it. You know what I mean? It's not to say no. Just gear change so far. Did we ever figure out? I thought that was on the live, Evan. That it was or somebody was asking. Was it Rusty? Somebody was asking, and then the live went kapoof. Sorry about that. Just I don't know. It froze on my end too. I couldn't even say goodbye. I couldn't even message or anything. But anyways, Evan, on the gear, couple things. You change out the whole assembly, or you just change the plastic piece, or do you also do what Papa Tony talks about with that brass piece? Do 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 do. I was trying to see if I had one handy again because I always like showing that. That is a nice little tool. If I can find it. Do 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 do. Don't know where my little tool went, unfortunately. Got some oddball gears. I don't know why. I have them. Like I said, this must be an oddball size. This one's a standard, right? These are not quite standard. I have found that it was a problem. That's going to be a different one. This is for like a old ATS or something, right? This was just the way to go. Now, what I have learned, this is just something I do, just me personally. I normally open these up in the vehicle, so you don't see all these extra goodies. Because like normally this gear is normally not bad, right? It's just this gear, that plastic gear in there, you know? And so what I found out though is if you get an old boy and you open that up and you leave that package on the ground, or a customer or whatever, I've had it where they come over there and they start looking at it and they go, whoa, what's the rest of those parts go to? You know, and they get this thing, right? A lot of this is like, you know what's weird about business? This is, like I said, my opinion. A lot of it is psychology, isn't it? It's like you have to like read the customer. right? You know how to like, you have to hold them, and you have to know how to hold them. You need to know when to fold them, right? I mean, it's kind of like holding a shotgun or something. I mean, it's just an old country song. Do 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 do. I'm sure you've seen that little black thing, or not the black thing, the gray or brown. It's brown. It's a little thing you can use. It's something more better for like at the shop or at your house or whatever. Like I said, it's not as good for out in the field to be doing it, but it is a nice little tool to have. I don't see it. It's just nice to have in the arsenal. Let me put this little color down. I'm so sick of carrying it. So it comes in handy. Like I said, I found out the gear is the best. You charge because a lot of times the top of the sprocket's bad. It's always been a weird gray area. I never really, now I look at it like when I did a couple of those gate operators, which, by the way, thank you guys for watching them and supporting them. I know a lot of people don't like the gate operators and stuff like that. This is not a, trendy thing, but I got another one. I'm working on them, and I think there's some valuable stuff in there. I like to kind of do more like life lessons a little bit in them, spruce them up. But what was I talking about? I was talking about the collar. Oh, those gears. Those gears, right? I mean, in the perfect world, I'm sure you're supposed to change a chain out, right? Because chains and sprockets all mesh together. I've never had a problem. I've heard them clicking a little bit more than when they're new. It normally goes away pretty fast, but just something to think about. Now, I've never done it. I've never done just the chain. I'm going to do the chain and the sprocket. But on those gate operators, I have been putting more chain. I don't know why. I think it's just my seasoned vet, the gray hairs. So I've been doing that more often. Ooh, 2 spring jobs. That's some easy money, right? 14 degrees. I don't know what it is. I think it's hit about 20 here today. I think Lake Michigan's helping us out a little bit, maybe with the wind or whatever. Yes, I know. Can I have the mod? I love all the YouTube signs. It's pretty cool. Check it out. I see Evan said I went dead. It's a transmitter. The transmitter's dead. I don't know how it can be. I always keep these charged. If you're ever gonna buy transmitters, don't buy these. Maybe it's just mine. These Rode, whatever this is. Pull us off. There you go. We'll go back to the standard mic on there. That's why I kind of like to test them out once. So I haven't used these in a while, but this one right here is notorious for going dead on me, a little booger. So thank you, Evan, for letting me know that I went silent. Doo-doo. Let's see, it says audio. Is it AL 519? Audio not working. What is that? Does anyone sign? What does that mean, Rich? I think he's saying he's number one. Well, I wasn't flipping you off. Good now. It says we can hear you now. Awesome. Good. The less, the better. The no. What's this says? Do the same thing. What did I, Rich? Rich, I think I missed something. Rich B. Do the same thing. He says, the less they know, the better. We're talking about the psychology. You know what I mean? And that's why the bag. Normally open it up in the vehicle, and I just grab the housing piece and everything. I grab the lube. You got to have the lube. Don't forget the lube. You'll chew that thing up so fast. But I like to, like I said, just the housing. I'll sometimes keep that little bearing or little gear on the bottom. You know, the little clip and stuff like that. I'll bring that with or whatever in case I need it. But and then also the other thing you gotta look out for. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? The drain. You always got to be watching for that damn drain. Because that damn drain, it will eat screws. So put something over it if you got a little blanket, a little towel, a little something, right? Because it's inevitable. Clink, clunk, clunk. It hits the ladder, and it's what I always do nowadays. I don't know if it's just something I learned. I think I've learned on my own. You know, I used to just keep working and drop something, and I'd be like, I'll get it in a minute, right? Hell no. Now, man, when I hear it going, I'm like, Hawkeyes. I watch exactly where it falls and where it lands, because otherwise, if you have no clue where it hit the ground, I mean, those things, I swear, those things get like legs, like in the cartoons, man. And they'll run off on you. You know, they could be outside under your truck. You know what I mean? If you don't watch those little boogers. So anytime something falls off the ladder, man, first thing I do is I pause and I watch. I go, where to go? Motion, right? It's just like deer hunting. Look for motion. And there it is. It's right down. Okay, I'll get that in a minute. You know, but I tell you, those drains, there's nothing worse. And especially if you don't have extra ones, I would definitely recommend, if you're going to be doing garage door stuff, to when you take the covers off. And there's two different screws on some of those openers. Some have more of a coarse thread, a little bit longer, and then some are a fine thread. Get both of them. Keep a little, little stash, little baggie, get 3, 4, 5, keep if you get an old opener, because we just had it happen the other day. I was helping Cap, and what was it? He's like, the other technician didn't put the screws in the cover, and he's like, man, is there any other screws around? And I'm like, got none on my truck. I'm like, oh my gosh, a full-fledged service vehicle has got everything, and we don't have these little, one little black thing to shut the whole operation down. So luckily the old opener, I went over to the old opener, it's sitting on the ground, it's missing the screws. So I'm like, God darn it. Luckily the cover on the backside has still a couple, so I had to steal one out of there. But it's amazing how just some little black screws can make your life. And there's a few out there. I'm not gonna lie. There's a few that are missing, 1 or 2. I calculated where I put them. I put them or missed where they were missing. But it happens. It happens to the best of us. Was it 5/16? Is it 5/16 wrench that you gotta have too? Because you gotta have one. I used a ratchet. You gotta have a gear, and then you gotta have that universal screwdriver. And then you're normally pretty good. Pretty good. Thinks you're muted good now. Richmond. Sign language. Yes, the kids learned them at one point. I don't know if they know them so much anymore, but I tell you what, sign language would be kind of nice, because there's sometimes, I don't remember what it was. I was just doing something recently and they couldn't hear. It's like, instead of this dad look, get over here now. Dagsy. Rusty had to come on here with the bad news, man. Bad news. Rusty, tell me about this. Come on, man. Hook us up. Tell us what happened. Long distance loser today, man. I'm going to get some long distance loser hats. Hand them out. Hand them out like candy, right? Because you guys are seeing a video I'm working on. It was a long loser. We still haven't gotten paid. We did up the price, but it hasn't been paid yet. No, I don't think the check has hit the bank account. So, but I don't know. I might be the king of the long distance loser. I mean, something that's, let's just say, was a 9,000 come out to be about 18,000 really in cost. And I think it was pushed out for 20 something. So there was a little profit on there. Yeah. So what am I, you know, like, let's just say it's 10. I told you what, 18. So, I mean, yeah, somewhere in there, or 8 to 10 grand in the negative. Let's see. 810 today, Rusty. You have. Oh, right. Rich B. Let me see if I got him right up here. I still got the slew. I still got the slew of them. I think the silver one's still where it was getting used. Rich B was talking about these. He sent these to me. Thanks, Rich. These come in really handy for bending over. You drop them, you gotta pick them up, right? You got them in a drain or whatever. Oh yeah, these best friends come in handy. Like I said, got a little pocket clip on them too. I used to always wear. I really actually like. I still like. I don't smoke. Scar once in a while. I really like pockets. Man, I love my pockets up here. You know what I mean? Especially when you're working on openers and stuff like that. My uniforms had 2 pockets. I believe they had 2 pockets. Good. You know, I used to have one all set up with pens and stuff like this. I used to have a little pen flashlight. You put these in there, man, you're looking good. But those pockets, anytime I'm doing construction and stuff like that, I'm always like, I want to drop something that's like sensitive or keep clean in my pocket, and I'm just like, I get so upset. Wife don't like them. She's like, I like those shirts with those pockets. I don't care about you. How you working? Give me a shirt with a pocket. Says number 1 was just a capacitor. Is that a Challenger? And a Challenger. I'm sorry, I don't work in Challengers. Other was an old farm who was waiting to do it when it's warmer. That was for the pattern. Or is this a Challenger? What's up? Is it AL 59? Says, hey Dave, I'm just crossing the border from you in Ontario. Nice. What should my budget be for? Is it SEO company? I don't know. Maybe Rusty's got something they're using. I need a little more information. Like, what are you doing? You're advertising. What are you, customers, you got a business, you're starting up. You're going to, start in a van down by the river. Sounds pretty good, actually. Simple. It's like when I used to live in a camper. God, I love the camper life. 2 swipes to the back. I was done for cleaning. Rusty says, did a gear kit today. Also on a 3rd Horsemaster. I dropped one of those screws twice. 325 for gear kit and 200 to do an added strut. On those struts, I wanted to just try them. Just to see how, I wanted to buy one off Amazon and see how good they work, if I feel like they're just as strong. Pieced together strut. I mean, no, it's not as convenient, but I think about a lot of people that got to haul with vehicles that they don't have. Because, I mean, you know how it is with garage door stuff. I mean, it's always torsion tube is a problem, but maybe it's not a problem. I still haven't found somebody that has a good solution for a torsion tube. I mean, they got the piece together, right? The ones that they do from Menards. But how do you mount things? I mean, I know how you can. You can mount them off the side, but you know how it is when it's drywall and there's no wood off to the side. Seems like there should be a better way. Maybe you do one long, it goes through everything, and then there's couplers on the side. Don't know. I wish I could find a video or somebody that's like, oh, like that's the way to do it, dude. Like, oh my gosh. I've buried them before, which is not good. I almost wish there was one, like, I wish they made one with like a bearing in it. That's how I wish. Like when you bury it and the springs, the bearing could go, a plastic bearing could go into the, I don't know, got my wheels turned. I'm thinking, because if you could bury it, just doesn't look so gaudy. You know, it sucks for this guy, right? Because if it breaks, it sucks. Because I've had it happen where the door's that weird, like why is the door doing this weird, like motion? What the hell's going on here? Oh, it's because that coupler's broke. I only knew it because I did it once, and it wasn't the same door. And I went up there I took a screwdriver and I started prying the spring away, and I'm like, got my flashlight, and I'm like, son of a biscuit. I was like, they put a coupler in there. 200. He says, we need a new phrase if you lose money. I love it. I love it. I agree. We got the long distance loser, and then we got broke as a joke. I don't know, something. Oh, man. Lose money and generosity, or lose money doing out of town jobs. What's rich guy here? It says operator screws. The fine thread goes into the metal. The coarse goes into the plastic. Ooh, good. That's a good. Yep, that's exactly right. You know what I mean? But you know how it is. Like I used to always be really lazy, and I would never take out the ones. Actually, why those magnets, right? I just showed you. Those would work out good too. I never took the ones out of the covers typically, right? And then it vibrate and you hit something right, and all of a sudden you hear it kind of fall out. So now I really try to make sure I take them all out so I don't lose them. But that magnet right there, that'd come in handy for that too. Inside those covers, those damn covers, they got that plastic, you know, that collar in there where you can't quite dig it out. Go into the plastic. Rusty's got, he says the AL15 or 519. What was the revenue of your business last year? Advertising is usually percentage of that. SEO? I don't know, maybe one of the guys. I know I've seen it. I just can't think of it right off top. I know Sam, but it's probably something to do with obviously your advertising, it sounds like with Rusty, you know. Charity worker. There you go. Charity worker. I like that. Heck yeah. SEO. I think that's like your online stuff, your presence. This year, like I said, we're going to ramp it up a little bit. Anybody that's a good recommendation, find somebody. Hit Uncle Dave up, because I know very little. I mean, I know how to kind of basically get through it, muscle my way through it for the like Facebook and stuff. But I see it on the forums all the time and stuff like that, is like, you know, and I get all these ads that are out of state, and I'm just like, I hate, like, I don't know how to, you know, I hate pissing money away. You know what I mean? It's you know, are you going to set a budget with them? And then, like, even my brother-in-law, which is really in the stuff, he said his guy's like shooting for an area that's like, he's like, no, man, he's like, you know, shoot towards Lakeshore for his business and stuff. And I'm like, I just want somebody, like, I don't care if they're not even in the state, just somebody that's like trustworthy, that you've had good results with, that you trust, that it's like you can call and they can just set you up with something. I'm not looking for something crazy, but I just like something on the social media a little bit. But I would start. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to look. Back in the day, everything was a lot different for me. You know, we had local companies. A lot of them have gone away. So I haven't even really searched. I guess I could Google around a little bit to find somebody. Oh, search engine optimization. There you go. There you go. Yep. And see, like, for me, I'm like really no good for that, because for us, we just got the years, you know. I mean, I just checked it the other day, and we're still on the top. There's 3 people above us, which are those sponsored, or those, you know, this has been whatever, Google sponsored, certified, whatever. But if anybody's got any common sense, you know, obviously when you click on them, like I was clicking right, and I'm like, this is not even a local phone number. I thought, now why would I even want to enter somebody without a local phone number? You know what I mean? Like, I just was like, whatever. And obviously the reviews always help, but organically, you know, like I said, I think it's, you know, and I could be wrong with this, but I think looking a lot deeper nowadays. You know, they want to see, you know, I kind of go like, and it's not always the case, because I know Cousin Evan has had situations where he's doing really good, and, you know, he's not doing a commercial location. So it just, I don't know. I don't know. And I don't think nobody knows. I think it's kind of like taxes. Nobody really knows, you know. But I know you can get to your top at some point if you want to spend a lot of money. You know, I don't want to say it's a waste, but maybe it is. You know what I mean? To some degree. Charity work, let's see. 5/16. There you go, ratchet wrench for that one screw on the gear kits. Exactly. I'm glad Rich, I might have paused, maybe he just didn't hear me, but he's exactly right, man. That's super important, that ratchet. I gotta have that ratchet, and universal screwdriver is always what I use. That ratchet helps out tremendously. I think we used to cheat. We used to get a big long extension. Yeah, we used to get a big long extension for our screw gun. You could kind of get it in there. It's kind of a pain. It's kind of barbaric, a little rough on them, but I guess we were going for speed back then. Rusty's guy says, before you spend money on that advertising, you need to know all your numbers because they're going to ask you those questions. Interesting. Rusty, I didn't really track revenue last year. I would say, you know, about 60 to 80. I spoke to my SEO company, but not sure what is their fair price to pay. They just want me, you know. They ask you that stuff, but they're gonna try to soak you, you know. Rusty says if you didn't track it, how did you pay taxes? Also depends on how much labor you have available. If it's just one-man show, you're trying to fill a crew, or three guys. Yeah, those are all good questions. Yeah, it all depends. It's kind of the crummy part about in the business, in the garage door business and stuff like that, is because I know exactly, you know, some weeks it's like, man, we need 3 guys. That's it. You know, then there's other weeks it's like, holy crap, we need 20 guys. It's a very, you know, and it can be seasonal, you know, like obviously normally, you know, like this time of year, people are all some money for the holidays, everybody's hunkered down, nobody's using their stuff a lot. You know, the garage doors, if it is, they're waiting, you know, they're being courteous. Some just don't have any, you know, so it just kind of, you know, the builders, right? Because one thing I think about, and this is just me, my weird conspiracy theory, is that, you know, when you think about it, right? Like, so some of the builders that we work for are kind of old right now. Like, they're still doing stuff, but they can't work as fast. You know how it is. The guys are not enthused to be on roofs and putting up red steel and all this stuff. I mean, it's lower. But obviously when the weather hits, man, they're flying. You know what I mean? They get the truck start up, the SkyTrack start up, everything. They can run, they can move, they don't have the big Carhartt stuff on. And so it's like for us even, right? They gobble us up because all of a sudden they get work and we got to go fulfill their jobs in a sense. But then it's like we can't do like some of the residential. So let's say maybe some of the guys that are more starting out or something, they got to fill those positions, right? Because we can't do the residential or take care of the customer the way we'd want to, you know what I mean? Because we're occupied, we're busy, you know what I mean? So then it has more work. But then when the season, you know, you got to try to make it through the season is really sometimes not fun. You got to save the money, you know, away. It says, Rich's guy says, and dip, what does it say? And dip the screw heads with a little grease, to hold the screws to the wrench. Interesting. I've never done that. I've always I've stuck them in there, and then normally I keep my finger on it to put pressure on, because I know when you do the ratchet, it's a real pain. It won't ratchet for you. I've done that, so I always do my other screws first because I can put pressure with a screwdriver. But I never heard of that. So it says dip the head with a little grease. That's interesting. Use that white stuff that it comes with, the lithium, whatever I don't even know what it is that they give you. Maybe something like that. Live, he says, after 9 tonight. Want to do one, Tony? What you thinking? I might be able to make it. I think got time. Got to get some dinner, man. What's that guy here? Rusty, if they're not asking you these questions, find someone who is. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, like I said, I'm still, and the problem is with the SEO companies, the way I look at it, and that's why a lot of this stuff, it takes, yeah, man, I tell you, the older I get, the more, everything takes so much time. There's so much time. Wife is working on, what was she working on? I think she's working on some, like a website, It's like, there's just so much blowback on it. Like, it's not, this isn't right, and this isn't, and then even though it's AI generated, and it's like, oh my gosh, and it takes so much time. And that's why, a lot of guys, you just, starting out, they have to understand that they just, and I was one of them. I was one of them. In the business, I don't even remember how long I was in, a year, 2 or 3, and the economy tanked out. Couldn't support it, right? Couldn't support 2 guys. And we had a customer not pay us $10,000, which was, I don't know whose fault. I'm not going to point fingers. It was just a problem. You know what I mean? It was a problem. Hurt us really bad. Had to go back to work, So the things I know now, and it's one of those things. I can only give you my life advice, my opinion, and the guys in the community too. And it might not be catered exactly to you, but you can always ask me, and I can always try to advise you what I might do and what my knowledge has been in the field or in the business or in life in general. But it's I would like to say, you go out there and bust your ass, right? And you're gonna make it. But I don't think that's the scenario anymore. You have to be smart. You have to really understand what's a ability and what's an asset. And you have to understand what the whole system is doing, how it'll fight you. You know what I mean? A lot of people, especially when you're behind the ears, there's so much out there that people don't even think about. That there's blowback is the way I call it, right? You shoot a gun, it has blowback. Some's a little, some's a lot, and everything has blowback. And so you just have to, So I like to start out small with a lot of things. Anything I do, I'm always like, I like to trickle, because they'll tell you to the moon, right? Just like I came across an old paperwork for a phone book, when I did my phone sign, whatever, and there was an approval, and I just thought, man, every year this dude in his leather suit, we would meet at Barnes and Noble, where we would meet, because I didn't really have an office, and then I had the office I did, we had people coming in and out, a couple old guys or workers, so I needed somewhere I could meditate and talk to them and just have a conversation. And if we wanted a whatever they sold there, I don't even know if they sold muffin or something, maybe a Starbucks coffee, we could sit there and talk, but I just always remember those guys that always come in there, and it's like, well, on the front page, you'd be really blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, how do I track this? Well, the way we can do this, we could actually change your phone number. I don't want to change my phone number. Because if I change my phone number, I said, and then that thing goes rogue, I said, my mom still got one in hers that's 3 years old that she still uses. So I don't want them calling, because what would you do? If I call a phone number, and the first thing it does is when I call that phone number and it goes, we're sorry, this phone number is no longer disconnected. Please call back again or try later. Beep. I'd go, well, I guess that company went out of business. So I won't even look for them again. So I just thought, nah, it ain't, So I did smaller ads, and stuff like that. But they always are trying to. There's so many people trying to get in your pocket, and that's why you have to look past the smoke, right? And go, what's going on here? What are they trying to do? That's why I always like to start off small. I'm always like, hey, if you really got that great a service, how about I give you a little bit, just a little cheddar cheese? I'll give you a little bit of money. And then all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, like, how did you find us? How, and you really need to track that stuff. We've gotten really far away from doing that. I have been talking to some of the ladies about, like, try to start asking, how do they find us, especially if it's residential, because you need to know. They find us in the newspaper. Do they find us one of our service vehicles? What is what's working? Because no reason to keep putting more money into something that's not working. Tony was there. Weird delay on your end on the we did. Evan says, I don't know what's going on with these silly things. Thanks, Rusty. Thanks, Dave. Legends. Well, like I said, if you got any questions, more welcome. That's what we're here for. We enjoy it. We want you to be successful. We want you to be more successful than us. And that way you can tell us your secrets. How did you get there? What did you do? How did you do this? I'm driving now to work in Lanier. Opener chain fell off. Ooh, Lanier. I wonder what's common on the Laniers. It's weird how we really don't ever get service calls on Laniers. We installed quite a few back in the day. I don't even know what they have for a sprocket. I think now we just probably tear them out. Bring opener. Don't forget, Rusty, bring an opener. Did you ask the customer, take a picture of that door? If it's 4 sections, I know it's questionable. But if it's 5 sections, damn, you know it's all. Bring both rails. Just bring both. Bring a 7-foot, bring an 8-foot. Bring a head. Change them out. Get them a whole new system. New remotes, everything. Don't forget the light bulbs. Don't forget the light bulbs. Oh, so Rich's guy says it keeps the screw from falling off. The wrench. Interesting. Yeah, I guess now I think about it. Yeah, when you're kind of up there wiggling and trying to get it up in the where it needs to go. I know some of the times because they got no. That's why sometimes I've cheated. I don't know if it's cheat, but I've put the screws in. You know, especially if I got a weird customer, I'm like, I'm just going to do this right here in the van. You know what I mean? I'll put the screws in so that when I put it up there, it'll thread in a little easier instead of sitting there really trying to get that screws in for that gear. Do. Rich B. Rusty, I do that too. What does this say? Whoa. What is this, Rich? What do you got here? You have to send me a picture of this. What is this? Spicy Spicers? What is that? Did I miss something from Rusty? Driving now. Chain. What did I miss? Rusty says they weren't home. Teachers. What does it say? Teachers pulling in now? Sprockets. Oh. Sprockets. I see something on there, the sprockets. So what is this? Is it Rusty's pulling in now, huh? What do you got? What do you got going on there, Rusty? Hopefully not getting burned. All this stuff has to be cleared out. It has to be cleared out. Got to be there. Got to be home. When are you going to be home? So many variables. So many variables. Comes in the business, man. My little heater run out. I think I ran out of propane. A little son of a biscuit. Yeah, darn propane heater. Yeah, you know, there's just so many when it comes to residential. So many. And I can't say if it's a good thing to, you know, without asking. I don't know. Would you guys rather go later? Let me see if I can. I see something got sent. Might pause for a second here. Maybe. I see something jumped up on there. Think, Tony, you want to do a live tonight? We can do a live. Talk about get yourself a, you know, all the IPPTs. Let's do a little class. Papa Tony can teach Uncle Dave because you know, like I said, save your comments. Save your comments. Save them for later because at least they're on the right video. Because I don't know. I know how to muscle my way through them, but I don't know what the variables are. And I think it would be helpful. I do get some guys that are on the channel asking, you know, and I get it, man. When I was starting out, but honestly, with that Service Spring app, it's pretty good, but it also can be a little bit challenging, especially like we were talking about that night with cousin Evan. We were talking about the like the drums. So I think maybe we should go into it. Freshen everybody's memory a little bit, right? Just like what was it? I think Eddie telling me about the voltages and stuff on those openers and the meter. And I had to double check. My meter does check how many amps are being pulled. I haven't done it though. I need to test it on something. The problem is a lot of those voltmeters, you got to have a single wire, which commercial is not so bad. But like, you know, something, I don't have nothing that's really stranded separately at home. That's going to be, I could really test it. I'm figure out something I got, you know, something I could figure out. But I don't know. I never used them much. I always liked the ones that clipped. I don't have the clip. I got the ones that got the forks on top. Well, there was one hanging here. Let me see. There. Holy shnikes. I don't know what that was. Well, this guy right here. Oh, crap. It's turned on too. Fluke is pretty good about shutting off after a while. This is, excuse me, this is the one I've always used. I don't recommend. I think the number tells you how many amps they can go up to. It's like a higher, so you might want to higher if you go into the commercial stuff. This will work. I mean, I think this one says 100 something thousand volts, but these have worked the best. We've liked these. A lot of the guys have the same one, roughly. But food for thought: don't buy a used one off eBay. I did that once, and there's just certain things. I don't buy used tires anymore. Nope. What I do is I buy them once a month or once every couple months. Like the old Nissan is going to get tires pretty soon because it ain't got no summer tires. I did. Don't tell anybody, but I did order a couple studs. I'm gonna try just one stud, one. I did order one, so you're welcome. You're welcome over there, Rich. Be welcome, because you know what? As soon as I get them, the weather's gonna break and there's no reason for them, no reason at all. But this ice is getting ridiculous. So I order New Year's. I don't order or buy used tools anymore unless it's somebody you really know, only like a couple months old, and they're going belly up. So, but and I don't buy used testers anymore. You know what I mean? When it comes to these voltage testers, when you got to check power and all that good stuff. One thing I never knew about these, man told me this. I never knew they had a little holster in the back like that. I don't know how until I watched somebody one day. You know how it is, like if you're trying to do it two-handed. He was like, he just stuck it in the back like there. He's like doing his thing, and he's watching his meter, and I'm like, that son of a biscuit. It's like, I never knew that. I always just thought it was more in the back for this. But these Fluke have worked really good. I might, if I was to redo myself, but I already got them, I'd probably get one with you can clip it on, you know, if you want to check amperage. But you can get, they're just simple. And I'm not a big electrical guy. Oh, this is the one. This is the one. What's it? Yep, this is the one. I knew as soon as I got it. It's got something on here. It says S Woods. As soon as I seen that, I went, no, it's today. Why did they get rid of this thing? I said, you know, and I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's not, it's supposed to beep. And this is where it'll screw you up when you're on the field. So this one should be, I should give this one to Evan or something. It doesn't beep. It's beeping right now. Can you guys hear that? It's supposed to beep though. Got continuity. And it'll do it sometimes. It's real weird how it works, but it's not doing it. So this one is not one that you want for out in the field. Why don't you beep? Sometimes you beep. I thought we had this. I thought this was over nowadays for the beeping. Me and you. I don't know if it's just got a weird spot in it. But this one don't work. This was the one that was bought. And it was probably a $20, $60 savings. It wasn't worth it because now I'm stuck with this thing. And it's like, what do you do with it? I guess it goes up to the hunting shack. Everything that's kind of off goes up to the hunting shack. It goes up there to die. Sprockets. They weren't home. Evan's guy, just get all weather tires, Dave. Yes. But here's the thing. So this is good. We're learning. And it's one of those things. I'm not saying I'm a tire expert, but a lot of times the compound is different. So with winter tires, you have more sipes moves in them. So they actually kind of work like, the way I always think about is like Spider-Man, you know, or a spider, right? How they got all those grips. That's how they can climb walls and do all that stuff. That's how it works. Like I didn't realize, I don't know how true, I just heard this once, not through 3 people. But I didn't realize snow tires, the reason snow tires work so good is actually snow tires collect more snow. In a sense, they grip the snow, and then more snow on top of snow grip. Didn't really know that. The other thing is with the snow tires, is they come with not all of them, I can't say, but they come with pre-drilled holes in them. So if I put a couple you know, screws in there or whatever for a little better traction. Check your local states for legalness and all that kind of stuff. It's possible. So here's the thing, right? My wife at the old house with the van, right, front wheel drive, literally, I mean, just the slightest incline, could not get out of there in the wintertime. With winter tires, not a problem. She crawls right out of there. But otherwise, you know how it was, the car traffic would clear or something, she's spinning, she can't get out. So she was the kind of started with it because I thought I got to get her something better for the wintertime. So she actually has winter tires and she has summer tires. So the nice summer tires, you know, the compound's different, the compound's harder. So, and even with the tires I did get her in case she, you know, sometimes we get, you know, busy. I got her the compound it is an all season, but I also went with the one I think is important is you got to get the 3-peak, the mountain, right? It's got the mountain on it. It's called 3-peak certified. That has a little bit softer. I think it's more silicone is what they put in them. I can't say for sure. I'm not an expert, but those do winter a little better. So, but the problem for me, it's not a problem. The Nissan came with like 3 sets of tires. Like when the dude showed up, I'm like, holy crap. He's like, yeah, it's got extra tires and rims. And I'm like, okay. And I think he honestly did it so he could get rid of them because my tires weren't that good. So I ran with what was on them last year, but this year it needs their weather check. They're like 14 years old or something like that. They're old, and so I shouldn't really be running on them. So I think what I'm gonna go with is actually it's a Firestone. No, I went with Generals this time. I went with General. It's hard to find 15-inch tires nowadays, but I like a thick sidewall. You know what I mean? I like a nice cushy ride. So, but I got Generals. I think I forget the model H6 or something like that. So that's I just actually gave the approval. You know, I say that with a grain of salt, but I gave the wife the, you know, like, here you go, start getting me one coming, and they were $154 versus the Firestone. I was gonna go Firestone, but the Firestone was 20, so 50, 60, 70, it must have been about $180. And I thought, well, the little bit of money I'm saving, they'll save for the balancing and disposal of the other tires. And there was a reason. It's just, they got some kind of technology in them for the sidewalls for a little bit more protection. And so I think it'll work out good. I think it'll work out. It's just my opinion. Like I said, tires are always one of those things. They're not like, I don't think tires are really super expensive. It's just the way I do it. Really, just save your money, put it in an envelope, and when you need tires, it's in there. You know, save up for it. But I'm picky. I don't like being stuck. You know, if I go up to the hunting shack or on bad roads, I like traction. I'm weird like that. I like to be in control of my vehicle. And the snow tires they're just a must-have. Especially the problem is I already got the rims. Why not? You know what I mean? So I can have easy. The wife's is a pain because she's got to get hers changed. Let's see what we got here. Just get all season. Evan says you're sending me. Yeah, don't you want? You know, I'm setting you up for success. You know, it's a step in the right direction. Yeah, I should just give that. That should be yours. It checks power. It won't beep. It'll show it. It just won't beep. And I'm a very I'm like a crayon type of person, right? Like I like colors. I like stuff to be labeled. Like I've been labeling stuff because I got Milwaukee stuff, and like for instance, here I'll show you. I got Milwaukee stuff, right? Here's one, right? Sweet Milwaukee. What the hell is this thing? What's this thing? What is this? Well, if you don't read, you can read, and this doesn't even mean much to me, right? The first thing they do is, well, I mean, fuel. Sweet. Okay, what is it? I have to look at this little picture down here and go, oh, that's a hammer drill. But if you're looking at saying any other freaking way, there's no way to tell what the hell it is from a distance. It drives me nuts. So I'm labeling. I don't have any. I was gonna say I got some other ones, like one laser and like other things. Like I can't look. I'm looking at one right now on the ground. I can't tell you what it is. I got a part number of a 28 something 8021. What the hell is it? Is it the laser? It's like they need to come up with like better pictures or something. So since I never know what stuff's going to be, I mean, that box I probably could, and I got some other stuff. I'm going around with tape, and I got white paint marker. I'm actually paint marker on the tape. What is it? So I can see it from a distance, because, you know, the thing is I tell you guys, I talk to you guys all preparation, and this is it, because it never fails. I will be down on my knees, right, in a little mud pit or something, right, working on something, and I'll have somebody working with me. I'll have a kid working with me. I'll have Caleb working with me. I'll have a technician working with me. And if I can go, hey man, go to my truck and go in the bin, right? Like I just made the one bin. It's for fencing tools is what I labeled. Go in the fencing tool one, grab me this wrench. They got a better chance. When I'm like, you know, they're just like, what am I grabbing? But if I have it labeled, so this is one of those things behind the scenes, right? There's all these things behind the scenes that I'm doing to make myself more efficient out in the field. And then you got to put all the screws and nuts and bolts away, and there's just a laundry list. Oh snap! Rich's guy says my user winder works good. Dang. You know, I was thinking about it, Rich. I was thinking about that Surewinder. I was like, good, Darren Rich. I was like, I don't know why Papa Tony have to even let me know if he sees another one, just for fun. I'm not saying I'm going to pull the trigger. I want my 4 price. That's what I want it for. I'm stuck on 405. Don't ask me why. But the wife of Tron was down that way for a sport event, and I was thinking, she could have got that Surewinder while he was down there. So, anyways, it's all good. I like to play around. So, but I'm glad it's working out good for you. Make sure if you get a chance, take some pictures of it in use, you know, or let me. I don't think Papa Tony ever let me know the distance, what it wouldn't work in. Like if it's like 3 inches, like at this cover, I put a thumbnail on this video. That one went up. So that one actually, thanks to Rich B on that, got me the arm. I'll hopefully have a video eventually on that one. But we're going to do a side mount. It's for a buddy. And this was my scenario. And I had another guy that was messaging me. And he was saying how he's like, I would do a side mount opener. I said, I don't think there's enough room to chance it. There's a board in there that's kicked sideways. It's one of those like barnuminiums or whatever you call it. I don't know. It's not a barnuminium. It's a shed. It's a shed. He bought it. Amish made it. I think he's probably insulating it the best he can, all this kind of stuff, putting wood up on the side. But it's a little door. It's either 8x7 or 9x7. And I'm thinking, you know what, that side mount with that weird J-arm piece, I'm kind of, ain't gonna lie, I don't get too excited anymore about that, but I'm kind of excited to see this one because I'm hoping it works good. But the problem was, this situation, he bought an opener already. So I already could feel it in his heart. He's like, yeah, I bought this opener. He's like, I bought the kind you like. And he's a good buddy. But he knows my brain doesn't work as good as it used to. So he remembers jobs that I am like, we did that job? He's like, oh, dude. He's like, remember we were slamming these doors out? And I'm like, yeah, I don't remember. I remember, like I said, a Coast Guard job. I said, you know, but, and he's like, yeah. So anyways, he goes, I bought openers, an opener, the one that you like. And I'm like, I don't know what I would have liked. And that's I'm like, I go, Chamberlain? And he goes, yeah, that's what it's called. He goes, I bought one of those. He goes, it was on sale. And I'm like, okay. And I can tell. And I said, well, you know, I said, don't take it out of the box. I said, you know, not yet. I said, send me pictures. He sent me pictures. And I went, oh, boy. I said, boy, that's really tight. And, you know, I thought about doing the sneaky brackets. And then I think honestly, Rich B, which, you know, by the way, you know, Rich B's been a blessing, honestly. There's so much information Rich taught me, and Tony and Rusty and a lot of you other guys. You know, I feed off you guys. You know, Rich is really, I mean, I get some pickles, man, and he can, you know, he comes up with some pretty, you know, creative ideas. I'm wondering if he's looking for an adoption. Can I be adopted? So, but anywho, so we're gonna do this side. Because I thought, you know what, he already bought the opener. He's already got a discount on it. Or whatever, he bought it on sale. So he's already got it. It's there. What do I do? And I thought about doing the sneaky brackets. And I'm going to probably bring them. I'm going to grab them. which I do want to do this one day. I want to try it. I'm scared as hell to try this whole. Rich B sent me the video on it. So you got these ones right there on the side. These weird pivoting hinges that you mount to the door. Does all kinds of goofiness. I'm assuming the padding is in the right spot, so it doesn't slam so hard. I put it in the right spot. They just give you this little piece of foam. Sounds like it hits pretty hard still. But anywho, so you got the sneaky, the super sneaky, super expensive for me. But then this is what you need, right? This key to it, which we've always had these. This has been pretty common, but I didn't realize those work in conjunction, that when the top panel, it kind of hits this and helps guide it down. Otherwise, the thing all over the place. So I just went, you know what? I said, I really don't want to use that system, but I will if I absolutely have to. So I'm going to bring it for a backup, but he has a fucking door right now. His door works fine. And I told him, I said, dude, I said, he still hasn't gotten me the dimension. I said, what's your dimension between when that top panel comes up to the ceiling? I said, that's important because he was reading the one out of Chamberlain, and because it's from a box store. I don't know if anybody can confirm this, but because it's from a box store, he goes, it says in the manual here, this is, he goes, it says it needs 4.5 inches. And I'm like, holy crap, 4.5 inches? I'm like, normal garage door openers like say they need 2.5. It's kind of the standard industry. And I'm like, 4.5. I'm like, you sure ain't got no 4.5? But he never sent me that picture. I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? How do I fix this? And I thought, man, he's probably not going to be real thrilled about taking that opener back that he probably got for 100 and some change, give or take. And then I tell him to go buy a jack shaft opener. And then that jack shaft opener is going to be probably 400 minimum, 4, 6, 8, somewhere in there. And then I looked it up online, and I thought if I do the lowering sprocket from LiftMaster, at least online, that was $176. I'm like, whoo! I'm like, man, he's gonna at least have $800 to maybe $1,200 in this damn. And I'm like, what do I do? And so luckily, I was going through the archives of Mr. Rich B's text messages, and I found, and we got one. I think it's from North Shore. I think is whatever one of the pictures. We got one in order, so should be coming. But you have to decide too, left side or right side. So hopefully I don't get burned. It looks like there's enough room on the left side, and there's like a window. I'd rather be next to that instead of the walk area where he's. So hopefully that works. But I just thought, if we can move this door, and I still have the video from Mr. Rich B on it, and I said, I showed him the video, and I said, I said, dude, this is on it looks like a 16x7 door. I said, your door is smaller. I said, this is what I would do if it was my place. I said, I'm just being honest with you. I said, if it was 16x7, I said, yeah, me. Excuse me, bless me. And I said, if it was on your house door or something, I said, yeah, maybe not. I said, but it's on your shed. I said, let's try it out. I said, I just kind of joked with him. I said, you always like being the guinea pig. So we're going to check it out, Woo. You're sending broken. Use my Sherwiner, works good. Sue's getting. What does it say? What does it got? It says, dang. It says, how did those screw in there? What do you got? All weather works great up here. Plus, I don't have to store tires half the year. That is true. That is true. We kind of, I don't know how true this is too on the tires. I think of tires, I don't know how, I still can't even figure this out. How math's out, right? But they always say if you have multiple shoes you wear during the day, your boots will last longer. I really don't know how that works. But your tires last longer, obviously, because you're putting more miles. But I don't know if it works in the same as, I assume not, because it's not like you're taking them off. It's not like they're heated up. Boots, I can see maybe because they're getting moist. That breaks them down if you're wearing them all day versus swapping your boots out. I still don't know how the math's on it, but I have heard that before. The theory is that if you wear multiple boots for the day, you change boots out, boots and socks, your boots will last longer. Well, I only get about a year out of boots, and so I'd be game, but I lose a shin or the backs all get rubbed out depending on what I wear. I don't know, But like I said, yeah, you can go with, like I said, all season. I agree, it does. It sucks. I actually got the wipes hanging on the wall so they don't take up floor space. So yeah, and then the thing is, at least with mine, what I need to do, I haven't found them online. I can find them kind of, but I just want to go borrow, take. No, I don't know what to say. But anyways, I just kind of want to take, I want those ones at the tire shop. I guess I could go to tire shop and I bet they got some. They get all time probably free. But I just want some of those covers that say like Goodyear on them, so I can stack 4 of them, throw a cover advertising over it, just to help keep some of the weather off. Because when they have the tire and the rim, it's normally not such a problem. I can't stand tires sitting outside and get water in them. Oh, it drives me nuts. Or critters living in them, tires are such a pain to clean. You guys ever do the loop, where you got to kind of hump dump, you know what I mean, where you got to do and get the water out of them, splash out, and then you got to take and dry it, and you go through all kinds of paper towel, or you got to use your your house towels or whatever, to dry them out. It's a real pain in the ass. But like I said, I've noticed it. The only reason was on the wife's, like I said, she couldn't drive out of the driveway when she's at a stop, just waiting to take a little bit at the old place, where those snow tires, they make a big difference. The guys even got the 3 peaks now, and I haven't heard any complaints. I think they're working good. Now, those are going to be probably more all season. We're not on the vans and stuff. We're not going to be playing the Chase Ruski, because unless we had another set of tires. But, it's just something. They work nice. Like I said, mine are going to get a few little metal little things in them, so when icy comes around, oh yeah, I'm going to like it. Rich B's got Go Michelin. So the thing is like, I have nothing against Michelin. So here's, I don't know if true or not. And I haven't done my own research, to be honest with you. To be honest. So I used to work at Penske. I used to work on cars, and I worked at Discount Tire. A lot of guys would come in with Michelins on their trucks and cars or whatever, right? And they swore by Michelins. Even my stepdad had Michelins. And you know what? I have nothing bad to say about Michelin. But to me, they're a harder tire. Do they last longer? Hell yes. If you want the longest lasting tire out there, you probably should go with a Michelin. I've seen Michelins do whatever they do, the 50, 60, 70, 80,000 miles, and they're still tread on them. You know what I mean? Like they're good, long, they're good tires. They're good. But what threw me in Amazon is not the best candidate for that. But I know the Generals, our local tire company uses General. And they mentioned something about it at one time, and I can't say for sure. I haven't done enough homework on it. But I like that the General did say it was USA. Maybe not. I don't know. I haven't had too many problems with them. The Firestone, I kind of didn't like. I don't like the idea of Firestone, because remember when the Blazers you roll over, right? Firestone was part of that. That kind of throws me a little bit, right? But I haven't had no problem. I guess what I'm getting at is, no matter what, go with a name brand. Now, I do remember I worked at Penske, a worker there. He went through a couple brand new tires that were Goodyear. I remember he went with the Goodyear Wranglers or something. Well, they had some kind of weird hump in them, and he's luckily, obviously, worked at Penske. He's like, this tire's defective. And I always remember that in my head. And I had good years too, and I never had too many problems. So, I'm kind of a general Firestone. Michelin's no problem, but the problem, like I said, is the compound's hard. I'd rather have a tire wear out faster for me, and be a softer tire than a hard, because for me, I don't even know how to explain it. I always get into weird situations, not as much as I used to, but I get into weird situations where it's like, it'll be that rain or snow or, and I'm like, dude, I need the best traction I can possibly have, so, but I haven't done too much research. Now, here's a part of this, right? I don't know if you can buy Michelins on Amazon, because it's weird, man. I'm telling you, if you go to Amazon got the best prices. And it's, I used to go to my local tire shop. I still do for certain things. But you go in there, and you always got some knucklehead or 2 knuckleheads in front of you. You got to wait around. You look at the coffee machine. It's always drink, and the coffee's all spilled or something. They've already devoured it. You go in there, and then they tell you your options, especially for me, because my stuff's all weird sizes. And it's like, dude, I can sit in my pajamas and clicky click right here. It shows up. I haven't had a problem since out of I don't know, I think I've probably been on 20 tires I've bought through them. And it's probably going to bite me at some point. You know what I mean? What are you going to do when you get a bad one? But for the convenience, it's great. I'm a one tire shopper. You know what I mean? So it's not like I go in and just say, hey boys, you know, give me 4 tires, hook me up. I don't know. Tires are just real funny to me. I knew a guy at work. I used to work at a factory, and he always said, you know, he always told me, he says, I always like to have good rubber under me, you know, and he was a car salesman back in the day. And I never took much heart to it, but now I'm a kind of a guy where I go, yeah, I'm the same, man. I like to have some good rubber because I've been with the old brother-in-law or family members, and we do those exotics, like, let's go to Chicago, and we go there, and all of a sudden, oh, trailer tire just blew. Oh, okay, you got one? Nope. You know, oh, there goes the second one. Son of a biscuit. And you got, you know what I mean? Tires make life such an inconvenience if they're not, you know, working good for you. What I have, he says a Kia, pretty sure Trailblazer has Firestone. I'm wondering, you have to find out which one. Another opener sold, installing it on Friday, told him $400 to repair the linear, or $11.36 to replace. What's the problem, Rusty? Man, you're already there. Man, what's going on, man? You're already there. You spent the time. It's already late. Hey, man, just put it in an hour or two. Just put it in. You should have brought the opener and just did it right then and there. What if he calls around? What if he looks online? Told you, God darn service techs, they never listen. Told you to bring a stinking opener. I just playing. Was it a strip gear, Rusty? Rusty says adjustment rod for the chain. Oh, broken half. I told him he would have to track down the part because it's smaller than a LiftMaster. Ooh, adjust rod chain, auto corrected, got me. Oh yeah, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. That little plastic, or not plastic, but the screw with the plastic or something, probably housing to tighten it up. Rusty says, do you try and push the belt drive to your customers before ordering or offering the chain? Evan, he says, I have a price list for both and show them and let them pick. Rusty, I'm just curious if you can, before we jump off here at some point, you know, what's the price difference for you? What do you do? Is it 40, 60 bucks for, you know, the chains to the belt for us is so minuscule for our price, our cost. It seems like that, I mean, yeah, generically we should raise it up, you know what I mean? But it's just, to me, it's like, I always just kind of go with whatever I think needs to be there. You know, if there's a room up there, or I just kind of go, I mean, they had this old chain drive. They didn't really care. They just saved them 20 bucks. I think the belts obviously last longer, and if the door is capable, you know, if the door is super heavy or something crazy, I'm just gonna go a belt route anyways. Evan, I have a price list for both of them. Let them pick. He says the one I showed you in the video is a 16. Ooh, it's a 16 by 6'9" door. Okay. Well, that's even a little, to me, that's a little funkier, right? That's a little funkier of a door. So hopefully, you know, like I said, it should easily breeze through an A7. You know, first thing my buddy, he's like, is that good for it? And I said, you know, I said, say it's perfect. I said, but I just told him, I said, you know, if it was my garage, this is what I would do. And, you know, I had one of the other guys, you know, they're messaging me or something, and he's like, I'd do a jack shaft on it. And I just like, yeah, I don't know, man. You know how it is, like when it's your buddy, and then, you know, this is the way I look at it, right? It's functioning door right now. The door 100% function from the Amish. I think he did say it might be a little hot. And I said, well, it's, you know, it's not that, you know, the best about putting in garage doors. No offense. But I said, it's just normally the case. And I just thought, what if I got to pitch the track up? And as I pitched the track up to make it slope, and now it starts hitting his ceiling that he put in, that he added a ½ inch of plywood or whatever. What if? Versus right now there is a functioning door there. And everything I start touching turns into a can of worms. Versus I just put a J-arm, or not the J-arm, but the bracket that they offer on the side. I put the opener off the side because now the thing is too with the door. This is the way I thought the opener is going to be sitting. Like might be scraping your head on it the way the shed is. It just and then I got I got to make you guys know how this goes. You know what I mean? And I thought I don't want to mess with the damn door. I do not want to mess with the door. And you know how it is. It's like I just thought it's but I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to be prepared for worst case scenario. At least I hope. I think. The only thing I thought about, though, is do you still put a strut on it? You're pulling off to the side. I didn't know if it'd help with the tweak. Strut would just also help keep her a little more stiff because you don't have a strut on the top. There's room for it. Brackets where they're at. There's room for it. So do you put a strut on it and then put a little piece of, piece of angle? And you hope, because you know how it is. Like on the side of a garage door when you're pushing, it's kind of twerking in a different spot. So I don't know. It's a little door. That's what I would do if it was my place because that's going to save him money. Hopefully it saves me from never having a call back. Oh, Rich just got on here. Rich B says the boot works. Interesting. See, that's good. They say if you have 3 pair and rotate they say if you have 3 pair and rotate every day. Wow, 3 pairs? I mean, I don't doubt it. Like I always remember, like when I worked in a factory, we had coolant that'd come down the machine. Not horrendous, but like the bumpers, right? I'm like from an Eminem song. I used to work in a bumper factory. And a little bit would always splash on your shoes and stuff, man. I remember, most of the guys always Red Wing, which I do think Red Wings they're a pretty good boot. You know what I mean? But it's just like, I don't know how it works, man. I really don't know how it works. I get guys all the time. It didn't matter if I was working in a factory, if I was working in the service industry, wherever, right? And they always be like, oh yeah, I use these boots right here, these Red Wings. Yeah. You know how old these things are? Yeah, these are going on their 4th year. And I'm just like, 4th year? I'm like, dude, I can't get more than a year, it seems like, out of my, like, I don't know if I just work harder than you. I don't know if my feet sweat more than you. I don't know if I just stand more. I just, how do you get that many years out of boots? And I got some boots that are probably getting there now, but I don't work in them as hard as I used to. But my boots just all like the padding starts going. It's just like, I don't know. To me, it's like, I can make underwear last a long time, but man, like my boots got to be good, man. They got to be squishy. They got to hold up, man. I want to be like your feet or like your biggest things, at least for me. It's kind of like the same thing with tires, right? Boots are very important. If you want a plastic fork while you eat your food, go for it. But the boots and the tires, I don't mess around. What does this say? That was Ford. Oh, that Ford as an Explosion? Really? I thought the Exploder had problems. That's why they called them the Exploders. Maybe it was. I can't remember. It was like, wasn't it in the 2000s, early 90s? Those rollovers? Can't remember. I just remember there was a huge recall, and it was like, at the time, it was like, don't buy Firestone. They're making tires that'll blow up and roll your vehicle over. What's up, Mr. Fees? Says, hey, everyone. Rich says, seems like Chamberlain is gearing more to belts. That's interesting, but why? Anytime Chamberlain, making a move, it's like a lot of like the car manufacturers, I go, why? Because I don't think you're doing it to benefit me or the customer. It's to benefit your pocketbook. Because they go, the belts are cheaper. The chain is iron. The chain costs money. It's heavier to ship or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? It makes me wonder. But I do think the belts last better. I think they last longer. At least they're easier on the gears inside. Eric Sky says, we keep ops on the truck, but it's hard to keep rails on the truck. It's just gets in the way. I agree. It seems it's not too cool. One of the guys does. He does all the time. I think he only carries one rail, though. I think he carries a 7. But I tell you what, like I said, you know what I mean? If I had any like nowadays, I look at it, and if I'm going, and they're like, it's an opener problem, bringing me an opener. I do 2 rails, 7 foot, 8 foot. But this is why I also, secretaries and everything else, pictures, 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 because I can tell a lot, because I can look at it and go, oh God, it's got wood grain on it. That's an old, and he said the opener's not working. God darn, if it's got wood grain on it or it's got a green cover on it, that puppy is all 30 plus years old, and she's something's done with her. It ain't gonna be like flippy switch or flippy breaker. Probably it's gonna be replace time. So those pictures can help. I ask a question and let them decide which opener works best for their needs and budget. When you try to polish the customer towards an opener, if you let them choose, they want to spend. They want to spend more. No, that might be not a bad. Build the killdozer. What's up with what's bears? Build the killdozer. I think it isn't West, that one guy whistling. What's that guy's name? Whistling West or whatever, that kid. I don't like watching him for some reason. I don't know why. I can't see him, like he drives, like he'll be smashing up the square body Chevys. I'm like, dude, I'd love to have that truck. Like, how can you just do that? Can't think of his name. West? Is it, what is his name? Whistling something? I can't remember. Eric, there's another company near us who hauls them in the back of their truck year round with cardboard falling off. They are cheap. He says, have to do it first trip. Looks unprofessional. Yeah, they do get a little bit, but I guess I kind of forgot too, if you're not running, like for us, we run the van. And so everything is covered and it normally doesn't get too bad. You know what I mean? But like I said, that time, I look at everything now and it's time and preparation, right? I look at it and I go out there, I want to service. It's kind of like another day. So this is what I used to do. This is a funny little story. I was thinking how it was, because I think we're talking like Evan and stuff, and we're just talking about springs and customers, broken springs and stuff. And I was telling the wife, I said, you know how silly it was? I said, looking back, I said, when I used to go out to customers and clamp springs. And I get it. If you don't got the money to have the springs and you don't know, because I just had somebody reach out, and so I sent them actually Papa Tony's list and my list. I said, look, yeah, you gotta use your, these are just guidance. Like, you gotta use your best judgment on your area. Things could be a little different. So, but this is kind of a starting point. But I was telling her about it. I said, how stupid? I said, I was going out there and I was clamping springs. So I go out there. I said, I wind the spring back up. I put all this time in there. Then I wasn't even collecting money at the time, which I should have been. I'd be winding the springs back up, which is always pretty sketchy. You know what I mean? Like, the spring could pop off and that. So make sure you're wearing safety glasses if you're ever dealing with clamping springs. That's just a word of advice. So I'm clamping it. I said, I'm putting all this time. I said that I'm out here. And then I said, then I got to go. I either ordered the spring, I'd go to a vendor, I get the springs, whatever, get them ordered, whatever, get them to me somehow. Go pick them up, right? I spent all that time going to the vendor, picking them, and then I said, then I got to reopen the door, right? And that's always the big thing with me, with residential people, because you might think, I got tomorrow's open, but their schedule's not open. Or you might think the other day is open, their schedule, it conflicts. Well, I won't be home till after 4 o'clock. That one off day, it was just, I had the day off, and you're like, fudge, man, I was already there. The door was already open. All right, not a problem. We'll schedule it for this time. We'll get out there for you, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go out there. I got to dump the spring that I already wound with a clamp, right? And I got to do all this work, you know what I mean? Where it's like, if I have the spring, well, yabba dabba do. You know what I mean? Like, we got a broken spring. It's going to be 100, 400, 1.2 mil. And, if that's what you want, yeah, that's what I want. I go out to my van, blah, blah, blah. I grab the spring. I do it. I do all the work. It's called, I need to be paid now for my services. I'm paid and I'm done. I'm sayonara. And you think about that. That's the big thing for me is, right? I think about all the time, right? Because it's at least got to take you a minute or 5 minutes, right? Still to go down the road, right? To go through the intersections and the lights and everything. I just think about that where I go, that was so for me, where I'd go, man, if I was doing garage doors now, well, I guess I still do. I just said, if I was starting now, I'd be banking on trying to get springs, like, on the truck. You know what I mean? Because, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like, is it like taking a crap and say, I'll come back a bit later? You know what I mean? Go do something, eat breakfast, come back, and then go, I already flushed the toilet and stuff. I'm going to wipe it again. I'm going to wipe it now. You know, now you got to flush the toilet again. Isn't that wasted? Like, in my mind, I just go, that's waste. So that's a lot of waste. So I just, silly it is. So that's why I like to bring up these stories, just for fun. You know what I mean? But if you can find whatever and you can do it, whatever it is, and eliminates you, because residential, I am always like, that's why I'm normally not a kind of a fan sometimes of residential, because how do I explain it? Like, I don't know. We just had a commercial one that had a little glitch. We did something weird, but it's like everybody's on the same team. It works great. You're in a warm building. You got a crapper. You know, you can wash your hands. We got a break room. We got candy bars. I'm just like, man, I love this. Do. Eric says, I was Milwaukee. Man, these things are expensive. God darn, they charge a lot of money for this stuff. I think the one of these was 50-something dollars I just seen the other day, and you get your roped in. You know, I don't know if I'd recommend it. I did talk to a guy that does roofing, and he was telling me, he goes, I put it in Mastercraft. He goes, I got Milwaukee tools, but he goes, I put them in Mastercraft because nobody's still in the Mastercraft tools when they're in those bins. He said, but if I went, oh, I said, that's kind of smart, you know, because that's the problem I run into running is that I can't go to like the box stores. You know what I mean? If I do, I got to bring somebody with me because I want somebody taking the tools. You know what I mean? They yank them, man. But they do work good for what they are. Yes, what's he got? Yes, they would roll. What's that? Less inventory. If it's green or got wood grain, you, what does it say? Oh, you got it to me. Rusty says, Eric, he says, I will save the next wood grain I tear out. He's cocky. I don't like the idea of clamping springs. No, I'm with you. I mean, I'm not a big looking at it now, but I tell you what, I still have them in the arsenal because every once in a while you'll come across a residential that's just like the math stuff, and it's either a spacing or the customer or whatever, you know what I mean? That you just go, you know what? It's just better to order the right springs and come back. And it never fails that you'll get that customer that, you know, well, you can I live in a bad area. And you're like, okay, let me clamp it for you. You know, I don't know how long it'll last, you know, but then you also need to aid, because I've had some of the guys in our rougher area, right? I've clamped them. They called later that day. Hey man, you clamped that spring. It's working fine. The way it's working. Hey, you wanna like I just want to leave that clamp on there. I'm like, dude, and no matter how I explain it, you're not supposed to do that. That's not the way. It's like kind of like driving still with a flat tire with a plug, a patch. I don't know, but it's working fine. Can we just leave the clamp? I didn't charge you for the clamp, man. I didn't even charge you labor. I told you I was coming back, and I've walked away from this. I ain't dealing with this crap. I ain't going back. I try to send them a bill, they won't pay or something. So, you know, whatever. It's just not worth it. It's like, whatever. That was a wasted call, you know. So you gotta say it's a call. It's 65, 75, 1.2 mil today. And the clamp is $20 or $50 or $60, you know, and that'll get applied. You know, this money, you can do it however. This money will be applied to the final bill. So you're going to be looking at, you're still going to owe $150, $200, whatever. But, yeah, I'm not a big, I clamped one and I was nervous about it. Of course, it was one of those jobs, right? You guys ever get those spidey senses? You know, it was one of those jobs that was a little farther away. It was across the bridge. You know what I mean? Like, not a bad area, good area. And the one in some screen bar possible, I just froze, and I was like, "Holy shit!" And I remember the guy come out of and he's like, "Dude, are you okay?" And I'm sitting there like, kind of like, I'm like, "Me neither." I just pissed to myself, I'm getting down, I'm getting the hell out of here. You know, I'm going to go get me some, I'm going to go get a Happy Meal. And so anyways, I had to tell him, I said, dude, I said, well, obviously, I said, I clamped it. And obviously, and I was even close. I was close to like, I still could have put 2 more turns to be where it's supposed to be at. And I was going to leave that one a little more dead. Because normally I'll keep a turn off, whatever the weak spring is. And so I said, what's up, dude? You want to go out? So I was like, dude, that's not cool, you know? So I told him, I said, hey, man, I'm sorry, but your door's just going to have to stay down until I get the new spring. And now, of course, right, and I'm probably, this is my own fault, right? I'm one of those guys that I want to get the customer service as fast as possible. I don't want them to have to be with the door down, you know, because for us, it's either phone call, hey, I can't get my snowblower out. We just got a foot of snow. Fudge. Or, hey, I can't get my lawnmower out. You know, we got to cut grass. It's always something, you know. And so, you know, I want to get it done as quickly as possible. But it's just one of those things. Like I said, if you can carry springs, I think it's a good idea. Rusty said I clamped one today. He said I forgot that I took a video of it so could send Evan. Oh, man. Send it off. Springs are always something that should be on the truck. Yeah. Is it MK Forest? What's up? Yeah, I mean, back. You know, and like I said, you know, we all have to learn, and some of our, I get it, man, it costs money, but it's just one of those things. I look at it now and I go, wow, I would not waste the time if I could. Like, so many things I didn't know, and if you're doing springs, I would document the hell out of them. You know what I mean? I'd measure them, whatever kind of door it is, to start getting a list of what you're coming across. And I don't know why I still have this in mind. I still like to have some raw springs, whatever you think you can convert, because you just get in those weird situations that it'd be great that if you could run back to a shop, a storage unit, a enclosed trailer, whatever it is, and you could still make the spring and go back and get it fixed. What great customer service, you know what I mean? And it's just out of your life. It's done. Because there's something to it when you're doing springs that it's a ticking time bomb. I've clamped a lot of springs in my day. And and I always knew, man, it's like, I got to get this spring on order. We got to get the spring on order. And when they would come in, it was like, we got to get the spring, because it just never fail, especially our commercial customers. You get that call. Hey, you know that door you fixed 3-4 days ago? Yes. Yeah, it broke. I've got so much to do. Okay, not a problem. We'll be out there. Luckily, your springs came in or whatever, right? You know, so a ticking time bomb, you know, and that's why I always thought about, really, maybe one day it'll still happen. Thought about doing an enclosed trailer, having it just start even doing commercial springs. So you got a commercial, hey, yeah, they normally know, right? They're mechanics and stuff. They're smart. Hey, yeah, you know, it's got a broken spring, man. You might as well, oh, shoot, all right. Bring the van, hook up to the trailer, take it out there. You're going to make it work one way or another. You got something on there that should work. And how convenient. And then you don't have to go back out there, the scissor lift or whatever. The guys are there. You know, it's about efficiency, I think. Double click the screen and subscribe. What's up, MK4? Appreciate it. What does this say? A clamp is like driving on, it says using yours buddy's tools. What is, yeah. Yours buddy's tools. I still don't know how you guys do them. Like, I just walked the other day and I was thinking about you guys, you know, or like Papa Tony and stuff. You guys use those cable clamps, and I walked past them and I was like, man, I just don't know about. Like, I just still don't feel comfortable as a normal spring clamp block. I just thought those felt right to me. You know, the clamp ones, I just went, I don't know, man. I'm sure, yeah, you can make it work and you can double them. And I just thought the blocks are the way to go for me. I just like the blocks. Clamps can get you out of a pinch, but in my opinion, it's too much liability. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I feel like, for me anyways, the liability is for my safety, honestly. But looking at it now, you know, if I was, you know, put on safety glasses, you got the gloves on, It's a torsion spring. So torsion spring, you know, normally when they blow up, it's going to stay on the shaft. But when I heard something fly, and I never know what that was, I think it was a chunk of the spring. Oh, for sure. That scared the crap out of me. That was like, yeah, you know what? Anytime I'm winding torsion springs and stuff like that, I am going to put on a pair of safety glasses. So, you know, but you know, normally it's always the doors in a down position or at least close to the ground when it blows. So it's never been a problem where it's like the, you know, oh, it broke or came down like a cantilever and, you know, or anything. I don't remember any problems that, but it's just like it was mentioned, it gets you out of that pinch. I just think about if you're starting out and you don't have the money, you know, or you don't have the vehicle to haul that kind of stuff, or to truck around, because like I carried 14 to 17 springs on my vehicle at all times, and that's a lot, you know. And you know, it just like you said, it gets you out of a pinch. That's all it's there for. So they last a day. Sometimes I've seen them last weeks. Sometimes I've seen them last months. I've had some that lasted over 3 years. I don't know how. So you're rolling the dice. So that's for sure. But if you can change it out and you're already there, that's what I always talk about. Like like I've noticed in the business, I've been talking to Cap about this too. I said, you know, your technicians and stuff like that, I said, are getting you in the door. I said, you know, when you think about it, this is how I think about it. This is some good stuff here. I'm pretty sure, I don't know for sure, but time, right? Any dentist office I've always gone to, it's always the ladies and stuff like that typically that work on me, right? Do my cleanings and stuff like that, right? And then the dentist will come in at the very last. He'll spend, you know, 3-5 minutes with you. How you doing? Everything's looking good. Let me double check. Does his thing, right? Why is that? Well, that's because his expertise are way up, right? He doesn't do some of that stuff. You know what I mean? He's leveled up over the years. He has the knowledge. He has the experience. He's done the schooling. He's done the sacrifices. And I was telling Cap, I said, you know, I said, a lot of times that's what I said, you know, do with you. I said, you guys are opening the door for me so I can engage into these jobs and I don't have to spend a ton of time. You got a problem? I show up. What's going on? Okay, here, man, I got a part for you. You asked for something, blah, 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 you know, whatever. Oh, hey, this is what I would do. Do this, you know. You all set? All right. On to the next. And so sometimes as you grow, you know, you need people to open the door is the way I always explain it, because that takes a lot of time. You know, and you know, and I know it's some people really enjoy it and stuff like that. You know, you say hi, knock on the door. It took them 5 minutes. Oh, you know, I just got out of I was on the bath. I was taking a crap. Oh, okay. You know, you get in, you know, do you want me to take my shoes off? You know, don't take my shoes off. Oh, there's a dog, you know, yeah, don't let him out. He'll run away. Oh, you know, okay. You know, you got to go through the house. You get in there. Okay. You see what it is. Geez, I can't use side door. There's no side door. You know, I got to go through the house to get all my tools, you know, getting those doors open. That's what I'm always talking about. Getting the doors open. You know, it takes a lot of time. You know what I mean? And that's like, you know, you're kind of getting paid for it, but you're kind of not. You know what I mean? So everything to me is that time that, you know, when you're going out there, just like when I go out there again after I clamped a customer, you know, damn, now I got to go back out there again, you know, and I gotta get the door open. They said their daughter's going to be there. Great. Okay. Well, daughter going to be able to cut me a check. What if I find more wrong? You know, crap, man, the first time I was here, it seems like always the first time was better than the second time. Sometimes, most of the time. That was like for me. I don't know. I could be crazy, but it just seems, I don't know how to explain it. The second time, it's always like, oh, I got to come back. Clamp is, what it says, clamps can get you out of pinch. You want to do a garage tour sometime? We could probably do that. I got you on the chart right here, so I always get you guys set up on the tripod, so it's a real pain to Will is in the house. He says there was one problem in the business you could solve instantly. What would it be? That's a good question. That's a good question. If there was one problem, gosh, that's a good question. There's so many. There's so many. If there was a problem in the business you could solve, Rich has got cash flow. Cash flow is king. Let's see where we're at here. Got a few. We're not too far behind. We could chat on a minute, right? Right. I can throw a couple in there. So I'm going to go a little bit. So there's a couple things, honestly. I think that's really hard in this industry, and that's why I try to teach some of the younger guys and stuff like that to really pay attention what you're getting into. Because I think if you've been in it, so let me give you an example. I explain this. This is how I explain it to my kids. I tell my kids, I say, go be a realtor. Well, why, Dad, this and that, And I said, because I said, you think about it, our friends, we got multiple friends that are realtors. And I said, the one that we sold the one house a while back, I said, they show up with a piece of paper and they give you suggestions. You could probably paint, you could probably do this, you could probably get, you could get more money, blah, 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 blah. I said, they're not dealing with all the tools. I said, when the industry we're in, like, for instance, this is just a fraction stuff. You know what I mean? A fraction. But you got to store this crap. And it sits here, and then you buy the stuff, right? And then do you throw it away? I mean, when you do, this is more for my rentals and stuff, but, you get a box. Do you throw this away? You paid, what, $2-3 for it. Do you throw it away? Do you throw it away? Do you keep it? It might come in handy. So you just accumulate all this stuff. Is the one, right? So the realtors were all commissioned and all that kind of stuff, and you deal with paperwork for the most part, right? They're not, maybe got to put a sign in, or they pay somebody to put a sign up or stuff like that. There's all this other stuff behind the scenes. I know, I'm not saying that's like the gravy train. So that's one thing. The other thing a lot of people don't is employees. When I was a kind of a one-man band, me and my business partner, we could accomplish anything. Anything. No problem, man. No problem. Situation, no problem. No problem. No problem. But when you start getting employees, they make or break it, right? Luckily, with an affordable, we got great employees. But it took so long to recognize who or what's good and to go through hundreds of people, in a sense, to find the good ones. There's such a learning curve there. So employees is a big one, because people don't understand. You know how to get yourself out of a wet paper bag. But does another human know how to get themselves out of a wet paper bag? You know what I mean? And that's the problem, and then you got product. So you got product, right? And we're fighting products. Let's just say you want to buy a brand new service vehicle right now. I couldn't tell you what to buy. Maybe a Chevy Express. Well, maybe not, though. It's got the 10-speed transmission that's had problems. And it just sucks that we live in a world. That we've been around for how many years? I mean, Henry Ford would be rolling in his grave with all the rolls that Ford and a lot of these other manufacturers are having. Just rolling. All the stuff that he worked so hard to build in-house and specs, and, think about how reliable the old Model A was, or some of those other models that were really good vehicles. Tell me, we live in this world that we have all this research that we can't make a good, solid, and I understand that there's the bean counters, right? And I understand that. But I'm a damn adult, and I'd like to have options. If I go to the ship and I go, yeah, I don't want the ones for 20, 40, 60 grand. I want your one for 150,000. The one that's going to last 20 years. Yes, sir. No problem, sir. You must know your stuff. I know it's been around. I know it's been proven. It's been around for 20 years. You guys haven't changed it, and they last, a lot of miles. But it's like we always get fed all this crap, just everything. Our food poisons us. The garage door industry has changed a lot. That irritates. Quit messing with something that works. You know what I mean? But this is new. But this, just like my one vendor, is the biggest one in Michigan, that said, and he said, the reason is, why they're going to DC Motors. And I'm like, I don't know, the soft stop and soft start, pretty convenient and cool and nice, and it's a nice feature. He goes, no. He goes, DC Motors are cheaper. He said, that's it. And I'm like, oh, so is that why they're going commercial? DC? I'm assuming. I mean, it's not like I don't have any research or anything where somebody can tell me, oh, these are going to last way longer. They're way better. I think one of the guys out of DC and it was all chewed up. So I don't know. That's kind of it. That was some of it. So you have products that are problems, you know what I mean? And then their solution always is, right, your vendors, well, we'll give you an extra hardware box. Okay. Well, you give me 7? Well, we can't give you 7. We can give you 1. Well, I got 7 trucks. So I need 1 for each truck. And then, oh, by the way, we don't use 100% always your product. So, and then you have different models and different hinges and different makes, everything else. So like, oh crap, we're going to need to carry like 3 to 7 different boxes. So that was always interesting to me because I always remember the secretary would ask me, which it's valid, but I remember her asking me, she goes, I don't understand why you want this. And I say, well, I want a kick plate, I want a side lock, I want a handle, I want a rope, you know, I want bump stops when we order commercial. Why do you need this? That's, you know, because I said, I need everything to be systematic. I said to when I'm using a sub, I said to when I'm selling something just to a customer, I said, I want them to have the product and I need to know what the price is because then I know that no matter what, I don't care if they eat it, I don't care if they scrap it, I don't care if they throw it out in the ditch, they got it. They got it. But when you start running, you know, I mean, we're over $1 million company. When you're running $1 million company, there's so many things you're spinning so many plates. You got so many plates you're spinning. And when you're seeing stuff that keeps coming back, this misfiring, blowback, it's like, damn, man. It's like I'm up here, you know, I'm an hour and 45 minutes away, you know, and the guy's upset because his door doesn't have a side lock. Well, you ain't got one on your truck? Well, I used it yesterday. I forgot to restock. Gee, you know, I forgot the door comes with a side lock, you know, or he doesn't want, he has no opener up here, you know, and his wife's here right now and she can't reach the door. Well, give her a ratchet strap, you know. Well, she don't like the color of orange, you know. They all got to have ropes. I mean, there's just all these little things, you know, like as far as I'm concerned, 16x7, perfect example, right? 16x7 comes with 2 struts. That's all. 2 struts. Comes with 2 struts. Comes with a GDO or an out bracket. It comes with a side lock. It comes with a handle or 2. 2 is even better. Kick plate, right? A bottom plate to put your foot on. Did I tell you it comes with a rope? Comes with a rope. That's what I want. You know what I mean? Like, I just want that to be industry standard, just like it's standard equipment on your vehicle to have airbags. You know what I mean? Well, I want standard equipment for it to, I want to have 55-gallon drums overflowing with side locks that guys are like, the customer didn't want it. I don't know what to do. I'm going to go throw in that 55-gallon drum. One day we'll take it to the scrapyard. You know what I mean? The customer paid for it. They can leave. I've had customers too. They want nuts and bolts. You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, you paid for it. It's yours. Here, keep the rest of it. I don't care. I just want the stuff. I don't know if I got one. But like I said, the one would probably be right up there with probably industry chain. That'd be one. If I had to say, it's right off top or something. I don't know. There's a lot. Cash flow. Cash flow is easy fix by raising prices. Then with increased income, you have enough advertising more, which will keep business growing until it catches up to labor. There's definitely something that's really important about the cash flow because even when we had when the COVID was going around, you could feel it. It was like, holy crap, man. Everything just kind of shut down. And it's like that you didn't have that lubrication anymore. It's like, whoa, the cash flow is not coming. So cash flow is very key in business. And it's a tough subject, you know. I mean, it's you know, everybody's demographics is different from what I've noticed in the industry, and you do need to charge accordingly. And most of the time we do undercharge. But there is, I've been there. I've been there through the old, where the shop's at. You know, I've had it where I was the new guy on the street and I was going to customers. I probably had 6 of them that I'd go to, and they just look at me and they just go, why is your price so high? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, you know, and I had like 3 or 4 of them. I told them, I was like, do you have the other, you know, companies? Yeah, let me go grab it. They bring it out. And I mean, they were all of $200 to $300 for me. And I'm like, how in the heck I'm not raping these, you know, I'm not bending these people over here. I'm like, man. And then finally, so you got to do your homework, right? I found out my vendor wasn't giving me the better pricing. And so they were getting better pricing. So that's another thing they have to keep, that's always like, we got 3 vendors that we'll use. The second job, she'll call around And you'd be amazed. Something that you bought last week or whatever, this is just one model up or something. It can be a $200 to $300 difference in price compared to one vendor. So it's like that whole thing. You know how like when you go into like convenience stores or you go into like certain shopping, like this will be a good price, but this isn't a good price. You know what I mean? It's like the same thing. So you really should, like garage door openers. they're pretty much all the same, right? But you can find them different prices online to certain vendors to dealers. So it's a matter of, you know, kind of shopping around. There's a lot of variables. Will says easier said than done. Yeah. Respect, man. Thanks for the insight. What's Eric? He says, make a good quality, like garage door openers. Yeah, nice. They made some good quality openers. A lot of stuff just isn't built to last anymore, which is funny. You know, until I just recently heard it, it was like a little short video, and they were talking, like, you know, when you think about it, how crazy it is that we you know, like, oh, everything trying to save the planet, we're trying to save the world. And I thought, golly, I thought this video is so on point that, you know, you think about these fridges that used to, you know, outlast your parents, the little yellow ones or whatever, garage door openers, the same, that would outlast these people, you know, that make it 20, 30 years or more. And you go, wow, you go, yeah, I mean, think about how that stuff's not going to the landfill or in scrap and all that kind of stuff, you know, but all this stuff is engineered nowadays to be, you know, throwaway, just throw away, you know, if it, you know, you got 5 or 10 years out of it, away, get another one. It's just cheaper. And I see it. It's like for us for repairs, our labor is so much like, it's like, we're almost doing you a disservice by trying to repair this and come back 2 or 3 times. Then we're losing money. And even if we charge you a service call every time, like we should, normal, it's just, we can install a new one and now you get a warranty. You know what I mean? And it's good for another 10 years. Laugh. He says it's you try. Oh, missed it. What do you got here? Easy. If you try, conversion rate of losing a few customers will make up for a few better paying customers. Yeah, I mean it is kind of true. That's why I want to run an online business. Oh. Yeah, I mean, you know, when you think about it, that's why I've been trying to convince Rusty, because I think he's got a pretty nice garage. You know what I mean? And if he's the numbers guy, we need to get Rusty out of the field. Rusty needs an employee. You know what I mean? Or he needs to be at that shop selling stuff out of there if he has the demand for it, right? Because, you know, when you think about it, like when you sell product, think about how many products you can sell, right? But every one of you can't go out and do 20 service calls a day. Oh, yes, I can. I work until sunup. Okay. Let's be realistic. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, there's only so much time in the day. But if you were selling product out the door, how much of that stuff could you sell? If you actually had a stream of customers and you're making $10, $20, $50, $100 per product and letting that disperse, right? And the beautiful part is customer calls, hey, I got a problem. Okay, what's that? Hey, it's not working. Not a problem. You know what the beautiful part is? Not a problem. I don't have to go out there and waste my time and gas and energy and accident. Bring it back. We'll switch it out for another one. I'm really sorry for this inconvenience. Just saying. The old wheels are turning. That's what I tell the kids all the time. I always tell them, I say, make $1 a day. I said, you guys either use that internet. I said, either it consumes you, I said, or you make money off of it. You know what I mean? So use that internet. We got such a gift. We're so gifted nowadays with all this internet. Eric Scotty says, but I do think there is a shortage. So there's going to be a trend, which you're seeing a little bit of laborers, you know what I mean? In a sense, good craftsmen, good laborers, fair, you know, but there's a lot of competition, you know. I always need boxes like that, and I can not even landlord or a contractor. Oh, that blue, I know, it's just, they come up, man. Stuff comes up. But you know, the point of it is that when you're in the business, right, you got to get that Sure-Winder or that spring turner, and you got, you know, and it's just stuff you gotta store it. You know, it's got to go somewhere. It's got to be housed. You can't leave it outside and let it get rusty and all that kind of stuff. You know, then you need bigger space. you know. So stuff adds up. That's all I'm trying to say. But if you, the only thing I've known, and this is from me just over the years, you know, and I've dealt with a lot of business owners, and it's like they all have to they deal with the real estate, and like I said, me doing the rentals and stuff, I love it. I love it. It's cash flow. Yes, you get a toilet every once in a while and this and that, but you have choice. The problem with the garage door business is that I don't have choices. I mean, you do have some employees and stuff like that, but if they go or come or leave or whatever or quit, and then the problem you run into too is that you're dealing with like, well, you know, I'm going to go get another service vehicle. Okay, you know, another depreciating asset. Well, really, I need it because is it? Do you really sit down every day and every day and do the math that you're beating the bank on interest and this vehicle's coming down that they built for you that's not going to last as long? So you're going to have a blown out transmission for it's out of, you know, when it's out of warranty or whatever, or are you just going to play the game? You're just going to keep buying their new vehicle, 40, 60, 120, 150, 200,000. Just saying. Or could you buy something, you know, because it's weird when I see car prices. I'm like, damn, I'm like, those car prices, I'm like, man, I bought my first house for like, what was it, 80, 82, 84? Some of these cars, you know, these trucks, 80, 120. I'm like, man, that's a lot of money, you know. And the problem is every time you pull it off the lot, ain't like you can turn around and sell it. Nope. You know, but houses, they have that problem, you know what I mean? It's like they always go up. So it's just something. I'm just throwing stuff out in the wind here. I see Rich says, "Kiss, keep it simple, stupid." I always heard that from my accountant. It never really clicked. Now it does. It is. I like the Kiss model. Oh, you're good. I'm slow too. So Will's guy says, my video's lagging. Sorry for the slow response. Would someone like a website where customers type and help your product issues? I'm not trying to sell you a website, by the way. I tell you what, though, I think there's going to be a demand eventually. I don't see it so much in the garage door business and other businesses, but there is people that are doing where it's like, you know, why shouldn't you be like the Amazon? You know what I mean? Where they can just go on your website and they can, you know, punch in. You can see your schedule. They set a schedule time, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to want pictures, though. You know, that's just me. As well, we have one, and everyone still calls the phone number. A few, very few text messages through the system. You know what I mean? But, yeah, I mean, time it's pretty much phone calls. Text, I guess we do get text, but that's our commercial customers. Rusty says, Dave, I have one. He says, partner. He says, my brother. We did over 500. He says, per truck last year. We're what is this? Says it was no small door guys in the area that are gonna replace that. Right. It is. You know what I mean? It's, you know, it's kind of, yeah. I don't know. Like I said, it's all, you know. I think it's just, it all depends on what you want. You know what I mean? You know, for me, I like my freedom. You know what I mean? I like my flexibility. I love teaching and helping the guys. I like helping Cap when he's needed, but, you know, it's not perfect by any means, but it's always like the McDonald's, right? Anybody can make a better hamburger, but can you make a better system? And that's what always challenges, you know. And this system has glitches, there's no doubt, but I definitely like that. You know, not really works super hard. We have days that we do. There's days, but not in general like we used to. You know what I mean? You know, we don't have to take. You know, we are so blessed that we don't have to take after hours. We don't have to take weekends. You know, good customers that we can slowly work for almost it's 9 to 4. You know what I mean? Banker hours in a sense. You know, it's 8 to 4, but it's nice. It's nice not to have to run down that anymore. Then could you give me thought in on a call? He says, them thought it on a call. No need to drive out then, he says, or just remove the phone number entirely and only give it to people who already paid, just ideas. maybe you could guide them and get photos before you go. Yes, the photos. Photos are so important. I love photos. Even my buddy, right? Even my good buddy. I was on the phone with him. I'm like, dude, send me some pictures. Like, send me some pictures. Sent me some pictures. I'm like, woo. I'm like, that's tight. That's a tight one. As in, before you leave the customers, we do pictures before you go over the phone. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Rusty. I won't waste your time. It's nearly midnight in the UK. Holy cow! You know, the UK. We got Sean's up in the UK too. I don't know if I got a message, Sean. I don't know if Sean. I'll have to check. It says I'm here to help. Will says thanks. He says Will. He says I'm 18, leaving school in a few months, and desperate to run my own business somehow. Well, I don't know how that feels. I'm asking stuff out of curiosity. And Will, you can, you know, you can always add. You can kind of be more of the community if you want. You can always email me at the Daveadubson@gmail. I normally put it in my description of my videos, and you know, as things blossom, you know, we're all a bunch of good dudes, and we'll let you in, you know, as warranted, you know, with time. And so you can always email me if you got any questions and stuff like that. And then, like, sometimes happen is we kind of filter through a little bit. So eventually, you know, if you're here and Peyton and all that kind of stuff, you know, too, we'll, you know, like if Rusty says, hey man, make sure you know, Gabe or something, give him my number or give him my email or whatever. We do things of that nature. It just takes time, but I'm with you. I know exactly how it feels. I was there once too, where it's like, you know, you know, especially when I worked at a factory, I absolutely hated it. And as a young man, I was so vividly, I think because it was so ingrained into me. You know, I'm looking up at the windows, working in this factory, and I went, oh my gosh. You know, my dad's always worked in a shop and uncles and stuff like that, you know, and I'm just sitting there and going, I got to put in 20 or 40 some years of this. And I mean, I'm just like, you ever hit that point where you're just like, you could probably almost like be like, I'm just going to end it. I'm going to be done. Like, I'm not doing this. And the people I was surrounded with, these people were miserable, and I just, it was not fun. I was right there. I was willing to do whatever it takes. And so that's why, even with affordable, you know, we've always a really, you know, open community, a lot of freedom, you know, like, you gotta go to the Secretary of State, go to the Secretary of State. You know, you'll be on the clock, it's fine. You know what I mean? Just do your business, man. You know what I mean? Life is life, versus just being, you know, yeah, clock out, clock in. You got to take that day off tomorrow or this, that, you know, family members. There's just a lot of freedom, a lot of good stuff. And it, you know, for me, it's been great because I've been very blessed. And so I love that I can, you know what I mean? I can help others, and teach them, and they still teach me. I'm always hungry for knowledge. You know what I mean? Because I don't know it all. You know what I mean? That's why I never disrespect a janitor. You know, that's how I look at it. That janitor probably knows how to mop that floor, scrub that floor, run that piece of machinery way better than I do, or what chemicals to use. So I'd like to pick at his brain a little bit. You know, what are you using? Hey, this is the chemicals you use. You put these two together. You know, really? Oh, this is how you clean a toilet the easy way. Oh, I'm game, dude. You know, what's a guy here? Evan's got something. Stick around, Will. He says we got a nice community over here willing to share knowledge. Exactly. That's fair. If you go live later, send me the signal. All right. I think it is going to happen. I'm assuming. We'll see. I'll give Mr. T, because we're getting close to 7 o'clock. I gotta find some food, man. The belly, I need it a little bit bigger. Wintertime, man. I gotta stay plump. Oh, look at this. We got Anderson on here. Love from, is it Idaho? Nice. Probably might be a little chilly. Nice thing about the door biz is change of scenery every day. Yeah, that is true, man. It's so nice being a garage door tech. I mean, you get to stop at the gas station. You get to get a little slice of pizza. I mean, I learned over by the shop. I've learned the roads all these back roads and stuff. It's great. You know what I mean? You see a traffic jam or something or a car accident, screw that. Like, I know, watch this. You know how to get through things. I traveled a lot more than I would recommend. You know, I've seen a lot of the west side of Michigan, and there's some beautiful sceneries. You know what I mean? And it is really great, especially when you travel and like in the fall and stuff like that. It's, you know, sometimes it can be a curse, and then there's a blessing. But there's more blessings than curse. So it's definitely it's a fun industry. Will, what do you run your community out of? Just group chat kind of thing. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, just like I said, some of us, we got little back doors that we message each other. Like we got, you know, certain guys, we got text message like that. And then that way, if somebody has a question, I know where to delegate it to ask who's, you know, kind of whose strengths and whose weaknesses. And then emails, you know, like we'll email each other and stuff like that. So, but like I said, if you just shoot me an email, at least I'll have you. And that way, if you're on here and you got questions and one of the guys chimes in, they can say, hey, and you're always more welcome too, because I like to put them on the channel. I like when people are asking questions, and sometimes I try to share them on the channel to get the feedback from the community, because I don't have it all, and there's only so long to make a video typically. Otherwise, people's attention span is really low. So, you know, sometimes it's 10 to 19 minutes is what I try to shoot for. Not always, but try to shoot in that area. And if I can make a video and then people can put in the comments, and I see the stuff all the time where I'll see stuff in the comments. I'm like, damn, like, that's a good idea. Like, yeah, I agree with that one. Community. So Kylan says 15 today. Ooh, that's still cold. Gotta find somebody warm. We gotta go somewhere warm. It's so cold. I think it's still 20s, 15. It's gonna get lower tonight. I think finally when we get to like the weekend, we start seeing the heat wave get above the 30. Maybe a 40 in there. Whew, man, Uncle Dave gonna be out in his shorts. 40. Well, mainly it's here on Dave's channel as there's lives, but of us have each other's phone number and all that stuff. Yep, we got Papa Tony. He's good. Evan's got one. He's got his channel going, so his stuff's gonna be like really good for like newer, like the younger. So I'm excited for that, because then we can, you know, like, you know what I mean? It'd be good. I wish I was him. You know what I mean? Like I said, to have this knowledge, to have somebody like Rusty that's been doing it. Rusty's what, 20 some years. You know, I've been in it for 18 plus. You know, Papa Tony's been like around. I don't think he's been in business that long, but he's been around. He's got the knowledge. You got Rich B. I mean, you got Eric, all these great ideas about making these openers and stuff. I hope he does. I hope I can buy some openers from him. Builds these industrial ones, but I don't know, man. That darn government, I think they're going to shut you down. I hope not. I hope not. But he's gonna charge us an arm and a leg. He'd be like, my opener's $1 million. I can't afford that, dude. Well, that's what it costs to make it. Oh. This is cool. I'll stay subscribed. There you go. Down to Tony's. I know that booger. Booger's down in Florida, man, where it's warm. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little bitter. You know, and this guy sends some, like, he's just on his front porch, no snow, you know, playing with his little Tonka trunk or whatever he's got down there. Nothing but love for Tony. Nothing but love. Well, this guy says, I've tried YouTube short channels before. He says, I stopped because it felt too hit and miss trying to get views. He's thinking building a key audience is the most effective way to do it. I'm a newbie. I couldn't tell you honestly which way to go. I'm just very thankful that I get to, we got Rusty on here. He's like our accountant, you know. He's the financial guy. I mean, he's good. You know, you got Evan's got youth, you got Tony's got knowledge, Rich B's got good knowledge and advice and all this other stuff. So you got Eric, and there's a ton of other ones on here. So, you know, it's just fun, you know, and I'm here as the same way. I'm here to help any way I can. And it's one of those things. I never try to, I'm not trying to push anybody or tell anybody what to do. I just know how it is. That's why I call myself Uncle Dave. You know, I'm that uncle, just like we all have that family member. They tell you stuff that you take nuggets from. You might not go 100% whatever way that they're directing, but you nugget from and you go, yeah, I can agree with that, or I can see that, or I can see that about my situation or my problems or what's going on in the business or industry or life or And like I said, for me, growing up, I had nobody that did business. Everybody was just work. Everybody was factory, shops, um, clinics, whatever. You know what I mean? Just everybody worked. So I was craving for that. Where if I could have, I had to go to Barnes and Noble, I'll tie these books and I'd read them like, yeah, this book kind of sucks. Like, it's not really getting into what I want. Where this, wow, what a blessing. You know what I mean? To ask questions, email, text, hey man, I got a problem, I got a situation, I got this going on, and I get to see all the pictures. I mean, we get senders across the country, across the pond, right, to the UK, right? I mean, phew, man, who would ever thought we'd be living in this world? We could do that. So that's huge. Doing it, community is waste. Evan's what's he got? Oh, he says, I'm still experimenting with vlogging. He says, my journey started garage door business. Have yet to post new content from the field. Yeah, like I said, Evan, don't forget, for me, it's kind of interesting. Like I said, if you go to some of those stores too, if you're going to the box stores or anything like that, make sure you're taking video of it, because I think that stuff's fascinating. Be honest, for myself, I just think that's so cool to see the other layouts. And obviously Evan's got a lot of price hikes over there. I don't know how. I can't even imagine, dude. I think we got it bad, and the prices I hear over there blow me. The housing prices, the cost of material and stuff, just wow. I thought we had bad inflation over there. It's whoosh. Evan, you should send me sometime. I don't want to discuss it over here because that's but how much does the SUV, the Blazer cost? I'm just curious. Like, what does something like that cost over there? I mean, I could probably do a little research over here to find out what these ones are. Anywho, I'm gonna jump off here in a few minutes. Show us the prices. That's right, Rich Bees guys says show the prices, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, anything you got over there, openers, remotes, garage door openers, like we that's the stuff I like. I like seeing that. It's like, oh, or wow, that's not so bad. Or just the way, like, there was something on your channel or video, Evan, of a box. I kept seeing a box and I was like, what the hell is that box? That got rollers in it? I was like, they sell like the whole box of rollers? We don't do that over here in the States. I'm at, it's like we only sell 2 rollers in a package. You can see it. But there was a box and I thought, what's in the box? That's kind of cool stuff. Brass Cells on YouTube, he says, is one of the checkout. He's from few 120 subs in the last 3 months. I don't know who this is. Brass? Who's Brass? Let me see if I can screenshot this a little bit. Might have to check it out. I only got so much time, man. I wish I got more stuff, but it's like my time is limited. What people like is, whoops, getting low on the battery. The battery going down. She don't like the cold. Lost my heater. People, so even just rant in your business thoughts, people like to watch. What's it says? The milk in bags? What is this? The milk in bags? Is that what they got over there? Milk in bags? I want to see that. Brass House Summer with his own business. I might have seen him. I might have. About the same size as yours. He documented his business is taking off. I can't remember if I might have seen that guy. He might be on some of the shorts too I've seen. Anywho, I gotta go. You guys should stay tuned because we're probably about 9 o'clock, a little after. We'll probably go live with Papa Tony. We're gonna talk about the IPPTs of Garage Door Springs. Maybe he's gonna teach me something. Maybe I can teach him something. Maybe you guys can teach us something. So stay tuned. We're gonna see. I believe. Fingers crossed, right? And hopefully it'll be a little warmer there. Getting cold in here. Document. I think some cool Texas bloke. Is it blokey? All right, guys. We'll see you later, probably. Make sure to keep your finger. Stay safe out there. And we'll catch you on the next round of live television here, I think. Thanks for being here. Well, I see you got something. Have a good one, lads. Welcome, business. Thanks. Contacts, not a problem. Make sure you hit me up in the email, daveadubson@gmail.com. I put it in the description below.